but still it's farewell. And maybe we'll come back to earth. Who can tell? I guess there is no one to blame. We're leaving ground. Will things ever be the same again? It's the final countdown. We're heading for Venus, and still we stand tall.
Hey everybody, it's the top of the hour, 7 o'clock. That means it's almost time for the Suzette Veneti Show. Why not grab yourself a snack or something to drink or hit the potty? Let your friends know the show's about to start. Send out that link. The Suzette Veneti Show will begin in about 2.5 minutes.
I'm sure that we'll miss her so. It's the final countdown.
Okay, cool.
Rising up, back on the street. Did my time, took my chances. Went the distance, now I'm back
told her
on
she
my
needs
feet.
to wait till
Just
about
a
7
man and his will to survive. So many times it happens too fast. You change your passion for glory. Don't lose your grip on the dreams of the past. You must fight just the night, and he's watching us all through the eye. Love the tiger, face to face, out in the heat, hanging tough, staying hungry. They stack the odds till we take to the street, for we kill with skill to survive.
Welcome to the Virtual Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for the Suzette Veneti Show. Please welcome to your screen, Suzette Veneti.
Hi, it's, guess what, 7:03. Time for the Suzette Veneti Show, August 23rd. It's a Sunday, so if you have anything to do on November 3rd, like vote, you have, 2.5 months to do it. Get ready. However you're going to do it. Mail in your ballots. Be there. Just vote. Okay, cool. Still working without a Chromebook because your girl doesn't have one because I don't have a sugar person. So we're just going to do it from my phone, even if Chelsea yells at me. Okay, here we go. Kanye West continues to proceed with his campaign as he continues to miss deadlines. Unnerving. NASA reports that an asteroid will get near the Earth just before Election Day, but not actually hit us. Bittersweet. Wildfires continue to rage in California. Sad. Thanks, firemen. Lori Loughlin and her husband, Massimo Giannulli, were sentenced to 5 months jail time for their part in a college admission scam. Justice? And finally, that's why you work from a Chromebook, so it doesn't shut off. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy promised to make huge changes to the post office operations after Election Day. Suspicious as fuck. Okay, let's just get right going with the show and welcome one of my favorite people. He's awesome. You can follow him on social media. You can find him on Facebook when he's there. Peers and queers, give it up for the man who brings the tea when it's hot, Clifton Ellison.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Hey, Clifton.
You know, it's a girl's birthday. She done passed the sun 35 times, so
Happy birthday.
yes, and I'm not drunk and sprawled out somewhere throwing up. You know, that's what happens when it's a lockdown during your birthday.
Did you do anything for your birthday?
Well, I'm currently watching wrestling. That's why I got this fun, festive background. And somebody just came back that hasn't been on for like 6 months, and he's my baby daddy, and he just speared the champion, and I like screamed, and I'm glad that y'all didn't hear that. And it's still on in the background. He is so fine. But anyways, back to the teas. I know y'all want to hear about that. So we talked about Meg Thee Stallion getting shot in the foot by Tory Lanez, and basically I have a couple words for the hip hop community right now, especially the men. So y'all are gonna sit up in here and have a word for anybody else doing any little thing that goes against the culture. But one of the best women in the hip hop game gets shot in the foot. Not a single peep. This poor girl has been getting dragged on the internet because she has not, to them, fit the street standards, because she didn't press charges on him. And the reason why is because she didn't want him to get shot and killed, because, you know, people like us, we don't have a good rapport with the police, and, you know, she was looking out for him. We don't know the reasons why he got shot, but a lot of the commentary from 50 Cent, from Little Chicken Head Drea, from Basketball Wives, and a whole lot of other people that you would think would stand behind a Black woman getting shot in the foot, had the most disrespectful things to say to her. So Megan got on Instagram and basically let people know, like, hey, this is what happened. This is why I did not press charges. And she had to show her foot. Why she got to show her gunshot wound for people to believe her? And why are people calling her snitches? This is the thing that really just disappoints me, especially with the men. Y'all gonna sit here and call a woman a snitch because she got shot in the foot and you don't want her to rap? What? Where do they build these men at? I wasn't made in that factory. And I don't know where this new factory of men came from, but we gotta demolish it, reprogram the code or something like that. Because listen, if anybody shot my girlfriend or my sister or any stranger or any woman in front of me, we would have a problem. I would be there, and it's just like I feel like they just failed her dramatically, and I just want to hug her. And it's crazy because she has the #1 song in the country right now with her WAP. Take that, conservatives. But sis can't even celebrate it fully because of all this mess going on right now. And it's really unfortunate that all this is going on with her. And the other celebrity news, you kind of already touched on Miss Lori Loughlin. Girl, I bet you she'll be out before Halloween.
On good behavior.
Or do you want to make a wager? Do you want to say like Columbus Day, or do you want to say like maybe before the new season of television shows come on? Or
I'm just always good for a wager, so whatever you want to put the line, I'm in.
Well, Labor Day is what, 2 weeks from now? When does she go in?
That's a little bit soon. I think she goes in like, I don't know, next week. I didn't actually read the story.
Let's be realistic. I think they'll probably try to blame COVID on this. I think she'll be out before Veterans Day.
That's in November, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's if we're not hit by that asteroid, but
Right. What are we putting on the wager?
And the last thing that I want to talk about is, since we've all been locked down in this house and everything like that, we have to be good and plentiful entertained by our television. And shout out to VH1 and World of Wonder for giving the gays a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race content. We got us a wonderful show about the Vegas residency going on, and it's just mess. I love mess on television. And Derek Barry and his husbands got some mess with Miss Naomi Smalls, and it was already messing the first episode. Well, on Instagram, Sacramento's favorite hometown girl, Miss Mayhem Miller, she was also on the RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star Season 5. Well, Derek Barry has some very interesting things to say on Instagram about Miss Mayhem, and Mayhem really showed that when certain queens say certain things, and it's like, okay, I understand it's a TV show. Some of these fans really go off the hook in the comment section and start saying some really, like, is this what you really want to say, girl? Like the N-word with the hard ER and things like that. It's a TV show, girl. It's a reality TV show. It should never be that serious. These are grown men playing dressed up to win $100,000. Like, have fun with it, get into the creativity, but you should never, ever, ever be calling anybody the N-word with the hard ER or saying they need to kill themselves and stuff like that. And many of the contestants on the show, especially the contestants of color, have showed DMs, things that they receive, comments, and it's disgusting. And it's just, it needs to just stop. No one knows where Mama Ru is. She just disappeared. 2020 has been an interesting year, and I'll admit I deactivated my Facebook a couple times. Sometimes a bitch just needs to relax, but you have this platform, and you put on the beginning of your episodes, this is dedicated to Breonna Taylor, whoop, but then what about the girls that you put on? Why aren't you telling your fan base, hey, y'all need to chill or something? Just something, throw your girls a bone. That's coming from me. That's my opinion. I just wish that she would throw her girls a bone or just say something, because it's getting real nasty out there. And you can go on Mayhem's Instagram, you can see the things that are said, and many other queens on the show. Speaking of queens, rest in peace to Shishi DeVang. We lost a wonderful queen over the weekend. She was only 34, which she would have been the same age as me. And it's just so crazy to see people in my age range going like this. This year has gotta stop. We need a hard reset, something, unplug, plug it back in after 10 seconds. I don't know what the tea is though, but this year is just. But that's been the tea over here, and no hangovers.
Good. Will I see you next Sunday
Yes, you will.
at brunch?
Yes, you will.
Okay, cool.
I'll be there bright and early at 10 a.m. Rain or shine or smoke or ash. I won't be ashy, but but yes, I will definitely be there. I love supporting you. I love supporting the girls, and I can't wait to see what you guys bring. And I feel like we need something fun and something uplifting and some joy out here. Like, we are really joy deprived in these streets, so we need all the joy we can get. So once I heard about this, I was so excited, and y'all are going to be following the proper protocols. It's going to be safe. It's going to be fun, and we're going to have some good time.
And we're talking about the Makeup and Mimosas drag brunch at Badlands.
Y'all better get your reservations.
Oh, I mean, you can try, but it's about sold out for this first week. You can try to get reservations for week 2. But on that note, let me go ahead and tell you and everyone else, we're probably going to move this show up to 5 p.m. just because that's a long day for me to host that show and then this one. And I like to relax at some point. So I think we're going to move the show to 5 p.m. Will that work for you?
Yeah, I'll be here. Where else am I going to go?
In the COVID times, I don't know. Not with Lori Loughlin. Stay away from her.
She may be drunk, but she'll be here.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, boo. I'll see you next week.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Peers and queers, if you want to send Clifton some birthday coin, his information was below him on the screen, so go ahead and send him that birthday coin on the Venmo. With that, we're going to go to the next contributor. He's here every week. He's amazing. You can find him on YouTube in his edited videos. You can find him on Instagram and Facebook for a good follow. And when the world opens back up, don't miss seeing him in person. Whenever that is, 2021, 22. We don't even know. The asteroid might take us out before then. Peers and queers, give it up for Mean Dave.
Hello. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Mean Dave.
Hi. How's it going? How are you doing there, Suzette?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing as good can be, I guess, for the week and all that, considering, our entire state seems to be burning. But apparently there's some rain in Boulder Creek, which is in the Santa Cruz area.
Okay.
So that was good. I'm just going to do the weather this week, just so you know. So, so there's rain. Hopefully no lightning, because that's really what being a weather person is. That was the thing, is most of the time with weather people, they'll always tell you something. And I wish I could have a job that it has the least amount of accountability as a weather person, because a weather person can be completely dead wrong and no one cancels them for having completely incorrect information. And I just want, comedians can't even do that these days. Comedians can completely lie and make something up and still get in trouble for that shit. Whereas a weather person, they can pretty much just say however they want about the weather, so long as it appears credible. It just has to appear credible. I think in astronomers too, because as you mentioned earlier, supposedly we have asteroids coming through, right around election time. And I'm tired. We've been having these articles every other, whatever. Somewhere there's an astronomer that just gets a boner for like, hey, we got another near miss coming, and let's make sure we get this information out to the public so they can share an article thinking that a meteor is going to come to hit. And then what's funny is everybody has the same response, like, oh, thank God, and I'm just, it's one of those things where I'm like, you know what, you really. I would want to see an asteroid hit just to watch everybody just shit their britches over what exactly that means. That's like, you think you want an asteroid to hit, bitch? Like, you'll be wishing for I sound like Chelsea when I'm talking about this right here. Bitch! No, if you'd be wishing for a nuclear explosion after the way, because like an asteroid hitting here, it's like the movies can't even depict what that exactly would look like. And it's one of those things that just reminds you of just how space is like so scary, and the fact that we're on this stupid ball with our stupid little problems and our little anthills and all that kind of stuff. And they're not stupid problems. They're definitely, they're real problems, and, our realities and all that kind of stuff. But space is such a vast and infinite, dangerous jungle of just, you can't even go into space and exist. As soon as you get out of our atmosphere, you can't breathe, and yet we as a species are like, you know what, we should still go there. We should actually spend, decades, centuries, if you will, developing technology to go where nature is telling us we don't belong, and which explains anal. But other than that, I don't really understand like where the desire comes to like always want to go where, you see something that says, hey, don't go in here. And like, I wonder why. You know what? I think I'm going to go in there and find out and all that kind of stuff. And so that's why space has always been one of the, that's why, and then flat earthers, I gotta, you gotta hand it to flat earthers. Like there's a problem that's really, that has some level of like, okay, if the earth is flat, the fuck does it make a difference? Even though granted that like everything in common sense land kind of indicates that shit's round in this universe. I don't know. I always just say, I do a whole bit about this. I just look up at the sky and be like, well, the moon's a circle, the sun's a circle. I figure we're a fucking circle too. What makes us think that we're so special? We'd be on the only flat cracker in space with all these balls rolling around the place. Like, we wanted one tabletop tennis for all these stupid ants that look like hairless chimpanzees that think they're better than everything else on Earth just because, they can do calculus. And not all of them, by the way. No, some can do. I learned calculus in high school, and then I unlearned that shit. Why? Because I serve no purpose. That's pretty much what, it's one of those things. It's like, as far as they always say that you'll need math. And yeah, you'll need it if but it's just one of those things that I just never found, like, you'll need it if you get into architecture, if you get into physics and quantum, whatever the fucking horse shit. But when you get into video game testing because you're trying to avoid responsibility in life, you ain't gonna need it. Flat out, you aren't gonna need calculus. And I always love that when I was testing video games, they always said, oh, you got good hand-eye coordination. You know who else has good hand-eye coordination? Everybody who beats off. That's you're just pressing buttons. I used to watch the Jetsons when I was a kid. Their jobs were pressing buttons. 90% of our jobs these days, I have no research, by the way. It just sounds good saying 90%. But most of the jobs today exist pressing buttons. What am I doing right now? I'm on a laptop and I can press some buttons. I got to press some buttons to get over here to do, and this is more my little workout routine over here on your show. Cause I totally respect and love this audience. I got $6.90 when I was the main interview guy on this one, but I love coming here and contributing to this show, and that's why it's like I've been able to make my living and also come here and have the creative freedom to say almost what I want, because I also know that you can't just willy-nilly say what you want these days
unless you're a weatherman.
Not only that, who would want it? I mean, there's people that are like, you just can't say what's on your mind these days. Yeah, you can. You can post it on Facebook. You can post it on Twitter and get canceled and fired like a normal human being. All right? That's exactly what happens when you say all the things in your mind that you probably shouldn't be saying. And that's what social media allows you to do. It gives you the freedom to get fired. And so, yeah. And I just know that, I just have this thing. It's comedy tries to kill it, but it's this thing called compassion. And I just try to be able to stay in touch with my feelings enough to know how to talk to strangers, and let alone if you're talking to as I'm doing right now, talking to infinite space. I mean, I can see you, Suzette, and I can see Chelsea in our little Zoom, hideaway here. But as far as the Twitch audience, I can't see any of you. I don't know who's watching this. I don't know who's like. There's probably some motherfucker in this audience. It's just like, why does Suzette keep bringing this mean Dave guy? He's not very mean, first off, and he just rambles for a good long portion of time. If you're just, why can't you just get rid of me and Dave and make the show a little shorter? And to that person, fuck you. All right. And, but I don't even know if that person's even real. So, I mean, I could just be making, again, this is space, and it's infinite space. There is that person though. I guarantee there is that one asshole over there. Just, Suzette Veneti. Like, I stick around for the interviews at the end of this and for Chelsea's segments. So I can, just have something nice to hear and be, hear her berate you, call you a bitch for a good 5 minutes. And, and Clinton too. Clinton, wonderful. I didn't know he's a wrestling fan. That was really, that's cool.
Oh yeah. Clifton loves wrestling.
You learn something new about people you don't really know, but you feel like you do, because we're all in the same Zoom waiting room every week.
Mm-hmm.
Because we would never get a chance to like talk shop or whatever. But if we ever run into each other, it's like, hey, look at, remember when we were in the Suzette Veneti show together. But yeah, so beyond rambling about that whole thing, also yes, I have been keeping up with things. Wet ass pussy's a thing. I got a nice picture from it from my show I do before this, and what I didn't know is that my mom knew what what WAP was. My mom was, she knew what WAP was. That's how big a deal that this stuff has become. Just in a week, and it's not a bad song. I like stripper songs too in the strip club, but I've never really heard them. I mean, my mom knew what it was, and it was because of the Ben Shapiro story, because he's only familiar with DAP, dry ass pussy, and so yeah. But I don't know. You learn something new every week, and I guess I don't know if anybody learned anything from me this week. I hope not, because I'm not a teacher, and I just here to waste your time. And I think that's my story, and I'm sticking to it there.
Okay.
Suzette.
Cool.
Yeah. Whoa. Sorry about that. That was an accident. Trying to get my background here.
You're staying safe with all the fire?
No, absolutely not. I've been running into patches of fire on purpose.
Okay.
Wherever there's smoke, I go outside and inhale it deep. I've been smoking cigars, actually, to be quite honest. I've been smoking cigars the last couple of days. I actually did one of my first, or not first. I've been doing them here and there, but I did a rare social distance show all the way out in the town of Sonora, which is like one of those towns you drive through on your way to Yosemite. And we had a great crowd. It was a small crowd, which is perfect for social distancing shows. We were in the parking lot, and I performed for pretty much one couple, 3 dudes, and two like one 5th grade girl and one 9th grade girl, and they were sisters. And I basically just had a fun time inquiring about those young girls, what they were, because I was trying to make a point of just, that normally these are the kinds of things that people get canceled for, but the only appropriate time for a 43-year-old man to talk to a 5th grader and a 9th grader is in the context of a comedy show where they probably shouldn't even be in the parking lot, but they were they had their parents there and all that. So, and it was fun. The 5th grader, when she grows up, she wants to be a bounty hunter, which I thought was the coolest thing for a 5th grader to say. And the 9th grader said she just doesn't want to be in a cubicle, so she might get into being a neurologist, which then I told her, I said, you may not be in a cubicle, but that's 12 years of sitting in a room studying. But the upside is your job is basically to scramble brains, and there's not a lot of people that micromanage you when you're a neurologist, so you can actually fuck up and no one will really know. So like, you can get away with like a little experimental science, put the skull back on and, see if they walk funny, that kind of shit. And what is anybody going to do? You're a fucking neurologist, right? You only know the tools of the trade. Only another neurologist who knows, shoddy C- student work will be able to follow up on that shit. So, but, so yeah, I felt like and basically I was just telling them, like I tell all kids, when to look, because they're laughing, they were having a good time, and I was just letting them know this is what happens when you do drugs in high school. You find your direction now. 'Cause if you go aimless, you too will be 43 in the middle of a pandemic while the state's burning down, thinking that your job is to entertain about 7 people in a parking lot in Sonora to get, what little money possible you can. And that somehow makes you a stand-up comedian. So I think I've talked long enough.
Well, I'll tell you a fun fact about me that you brought up that I would never have thought to mention. I'm not a neurologist, but I can give a great neurological assessment.
All right, well then assess me. What's up?
Oh, no, like the whole test, like it's like 5 minutes, like in person.
Oh, I thought like you could review.
Oh, no. I'd be like, do you, like, can you smile? Can you frown? I'm going to say 3 words, apple, table, penny. I want you to remember those 3 words, and I'm going to ask you them in 5 minutes. Can you spell the word world? Can you spell the word world backwards? Can you...
Is that the shit they do for the president? Like, that's the... Isn't that the word?
Yes.
Huh.
When someone gets a neurological test, a quick, dirty 5-minute neurological test, those are the...
Sounds like a DUI test to me. I don't know.
Well, and it gets even more DUI because then they ask you to start with 100 and subtract 7 and just tell me what the answer is and keep going. So it would be like 93, 86, 79.
Yeah, 86. And great. Now I'm going to be having math in my fucking head for the rest of the night. Thank you, Suzette.
You're welcome.
All right. I'm done.
Love you, Mean Dave.
Love you too. See you next week.
See you next week. Peers and Queers, that was Mean Dave. Our show weatherman, whether he's given the weather or not. So make sure you go ahead, and if you want to send some coin to him, his information was on the screen. Continue to fund my contributors so they can continue to go to parking lots and entertain 5th graders and 9th graders and adults, because that's what we all need right now. And I love Mean Dave, and you guys should too. And with that, we're going to go to the next contributor who secretly loves Mean Dave, but openly also loves Mean Dave. You can find her on Saturdays on This Zoom Show Is Not a Joke. I think I said that right. And find her on social media for where she's going to be otherwise. And Chelsea Got Cakes is where she makes cakes. Give it up for Chelsea Bearce.
Oh my God, that intro was terrible. Yes! Holy shit.
I don't have a Chromebook.
Bitch, don't you dare blame it on the non-Chromebook. How dare... Did you hear that? You can catch her on one of the days, and the show is called... I'm not sure if I said it. You have a neurological test you're doing, and you can't figure my fucking intro out? I'm dead. I'm never doing this show again. I'll see you in a week. Hi, bitch.
Hi.
How are you? Are you good?
I'm good today.
Okay.
How are you?
You sound surprised by that answer.
It's just hot.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And
are you close to the fires? How close is it to you?
I don't think we're very close to it in Sacramento. But there's a lot of smoke in the air.
Yeah.
And it's like, I already have hair trouble, so it's just not, I try to stay out of it.
Oh, we're blaming the smoke on that now? That's what, okay. Yeah, oh no, okay, that sounds good. Sorry, bitch. You know you're gonna get red when I come on, okay? And I've got Jameson in my cup, and it is not my first one. Okay! So, we never know what I'm gonna talk about when I come on here. I have no idea. How many people are watching? Let's see. 7! Oh, we got 7. I got Twitch up, bitches. I can fucking see you. Okay. So, we never know what I'm going to talk about. Now, the last few, I've been going out on, like, trying to go out on dates, and then we talk about that, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And we're all aware that dating during the pandemic has been a fucking dumpster. Oh, my God. It's so... Dating anyway is a terrible thing to do. This is why I told you guys last week I'm going to marry Mean Dave. It's just going to happen. He's a reliable person. He doesn't think that I'm fun. I'm just kidding. It's just going to happen. He understands the comedy world. You know what I mean? He won't drink my liquor because he's sober. So it's like, it's a perfect match.
Will you give him rides? Because he said last week that's a deal breaker. He needs rides.
What? What is?
Oh, he needs to be driven.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you interrupt my? I have a car. We're okay. Everybody wins. Okay. How dare you? My God, this is we're killing it right now. This is my late night audition right here. Oh, thank you. Pocket just paid me because he loves my hair. I got my hair cut and now I put it up. I feel super 80s today. And look at these. Look at these fucking things. What? Pew pew.
Well,
Relevant. Oh, you can't see me. You can't see me.
No Chromebook.
Okay, everybody else can. Everyone's look how cool I am, and don't tell Suzette what I'm showing you right now. Okay?
Okay. No, I'm cheating. I can see.
Oh, damn it! I was
Jesse
gonna pretend
turned
it
it.
was my video.
He turned it for me.
Aren't they cute?
They're really cute.
They're so cute. They're super 80s. I feel like it's 80s roller rink. Itch. That's what I'm serving right now. And Sydney's yawning in the green room. By the way, she's yawning. So that's nice.
Well,
I wish I knew my friend was going to be on here. I would have written her some roast jokes. She's such a bitch. I hate her so much. Okay, that's your headline. Okay, here we go. Let's talk. I want to be completely open and honest with you guys today. This week has been insanely hard, and I feel like this pandemic and this like whole thing is really mentally challenging for a lot of people. You know, like I said this in an earlier show that I did, but usually in life we all feel like, you know what, today is a pretty good day. You know, today's not a really good day. But with the pandemic and during this fucking shit, it's like 317 can be a good day and 322 you can be in a deep ass depression. Like there's no telling when it's gonna hit you, what's gonna set you off, why you're gonna be sad. Like, I mean, do you know how many times I have seen The Incredibles? It's an insane amount of times I've seen that movie. And this week, for some reason, cried my eyes out. I can repeat the entire movie for you right now, but as soon as like Violet made this force field and she saved the family from these bullets, and she's like, I'm so proud of you. She's like, thanks, Mom. I'm dead. I died. I fucking died. Why? Like, it does. You will get set off by the smallest fucking shit during this pandemic, okay? Now, let me tell you, I'm going to get a little bit vulnerable right now, okay? If I start crying, just shut the fuck up and deal with it, because that's just what I'm going through, okay? So, I am 39 years old, okay? And I'm moving out of my house back in with my mother so that I can save more money, because right now I have more money put away than I have ever had in my life. But if I live with her for 6 more months, I will be in a better place when I purchase my very first home. So that's the goal, okay? Now, I understand that what I'm doing is a very big accomplishment. It's amazing to do this by yourself. I'm a single mother who's a stand-up comic, and I survive off of performing for people. But to know that I am a 39-year-old woman who is moving from a 2-story, 3-bedroom house with her 4-year-old son into a small closet of a room in a condo kind of makes me want to start cutting myself. Like, it's not ideal. Now, when I look at the big picture, I know that I'm doing it for the greater good. I know that. But it's really hard to see the bigger picture right now, especially when, I don't know, I'm surrounded by devastation and death. So it's like, how do you keep the positive in your life, okay? So it's one of those things where lately I can't deny that I'm feeling these feelings. And sometimes you just need to go through it. What I want to say is everybody needs to have their core group of people. These are people that I know, they're my ride or die. I can count on you through thick and thin. I can be bleeding out of my fucking eyeballs and you'll still come and you'll be like, bitch, you got this. You can do it. You can do it. And you have to have those core group of people that will just be with you through the bullshit. And I feel like this is one of those times in life where it is so proven to you who these people are and why you have chosen them as your core group. you know, like you know, it's always said, like, in the LGBTQ community, that you choose your family, and these are the people that you choose to have around you. But that's a philosophy that every single person can have. I choose my friends very, very carefully, and right now it's proven why I've chosen these people as my people, because I can come to them, ugly girl crying, eyes swollen, because I'm like, I feel like a failure. My son's I'm not doing enough for my kid. I'm not, you know, and it's like, no, you're fine, bitch. Suck it up and go. Like, and that's kind of what I need right now. And I feel like you can live through this shit. You can go through the bad and be super depressed. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm doing that right now. But you have to have these people that help you get through it. And I feel like that's so important for everybody to have right now, and to know who those people are in their lives. I thought someone was coming to my house right now, but they're not.
Oh.
Okay, do you want to talk? It's your show. Go. It's your turn. I've talked a lot. Go.
Well, I'm scared sometimes. I think what you just said, all of it was really important, and I think it's all true. And you do need people like that, and you need people that care about you, but also will tell you to shut up and pick yourself up and keep going.
Right. And I'm not saying these are people that, you know, like I go to and I'm like, fix it. Because a lot of people will hear their friend in trouble or deep in a depression, and they're like, what can I do to fix it? No, sometimes I just need to vent, get it off my chest, and then let's talk bullshit. Let's, you know, so it's just, it's really important to know who those people are, especially right now. And, you know, like, I feel like everybody on this show, you know, especially because this is what I'm dealing with right now at this moment, is someone that I could reach out to at any time of the day. You know, it's like, I have this going on. I'm sorry we haven't talked in 3 months, but this is happening. And I feel like any one of you would be like, yes, Chelsea, let's discuss it, you know, or, you know, I'm here if you need me, you know, kind of a thing. And it's so important to have those people in your life. And the reason that I feel like it's really important that I say this is because for those of you that don't know me, it's very hard for me to ask for help. I'm one of those people who wants to do everything by myself. You know, I find a new venture and I turn it into a fucking business all of a sudden. And that's why I have 7 jobs, because it's like, oh, I'm good at this. Cool. Okay. You know, like, let me start a website and, you know, figure out an Instagram and I turn it into a business. But it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to go through it. Feel that emotion. Go from start to finish. But then also realize that it's important to get out of it. But going through all those emotions is very, very vital. It's very, very vital. It's
a process. You have to work your way. It's like the 5 stages of grief was actually written for the person who was dying, not the people that were surviving the deceased person. But we should use. Look, I'm like a scientist and a neurologist on today's show, but you should use those 5 stages. Shut up, I look like one.
Okay.
You should use those 5 stages. You should go through them. You should allow yourself that time and that what do you call it? I'm not an English major. You should allow yourself that process. So yeah. And true. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to do the show with everyone here one day, like you and me and Dave. And Clifton.
And you know what? We can do that in the backyard of the home that I purchased. How about that?
I'm in. That sounds amazing.
It's terrifying to say out loud, but it's one of those things where I want to be held accountable for it. This is a goal that I'm setting for myself. I've put money away and I've been very, very smart about it. But it's also a terrifying thing to know that I'm doing this completely on my own. I don't have a partner. I don't have, you know, a co-signer, a confidant with this. I don't have that. And it's just me, and I don't know what I'm doing. So luckily, I have that core group of friends that can give me advice and help along the way to just make sure that I'm not, just fucking up completely. So.
Right. Well, I mean, you're kind of my role model in that, because I would love to have a home. And I'm, just a couple years behind, and I'm like, oh, I got to catch up fast because I'm not even close.
It's not one of, because I was thinking the same thing, because I live in Benicia, and if any of you know Benicia, it's not a cheap place to live. It's expensive. It's right on the water, but it's also where I grew up, and it's kind of where I'm creating a name for my business. So it's just, and I also think that it's kind of centralized between like Sacramento, San Francisco. Like I can go a lot of places very easily, but it has that small town feel, you know. So when I talk about it, you know, wanting to make this goal for myself and do this and succeed, a lot of people are like, man, you know, like people I don't know around town, you know, a lot of them are, you know, do you know how expensive it is? And I couldn't do it by myself. And how are you doing this? And it terrifies the shit out of me. And it's like, why even bring that into my circle right now? You know, so it just, it is scary. And I understand that you say, you know, you're a few years behind me from doing something like this, but I just want you to know that if you stick with it and you put money away and you are diligent about remembering what it is that you want to achieve, you can 100% do it. It's just, it's gonna take a lot of initiative on you. But if you need that encouragement, know that that's where your core group of friends needs to come into play.
If I could do anything that you could do, I would be amazing. So I'll just try to keep that in mind, that it's possible. But, I am no Chelsea Bearce.
This is true. Okay.
I wish.
Was I supposed to be like, no, you're great? Like,
no,
I'm not.
No,
Okay.
because that's exactly the point you're making. You are one of my closest friends, and like, I don't need you to fill me with fake smoke and be like, oh yeah, you can be amazing, you can do it. No, I need you to come on and tell me that I'm not shit so I can get better.
Well, I still do this show every single week because I love you with all of my heart and I believe in what you're doing. And that's a reason why me and Dave and Clinton are here and we have your back through this whole thing. And Jesse, hi Jesse, I'm so sorry I left you out. But that's why we're here, because we believe in you and what you do. And so, it's tragic that you're not better, but it's fine because we're here to support you. Okay.
Well, while you're throwing shout outs out, let's not forget DJ Pocket, who helps me a lot.
DJ Pocket's here, and he sent me a tip. So, and that's true. And I need to publicly say this: DJ Pocket, he sent me a friend request back in like 1912, and I didn't see it. And so, DJ Pocket, I apologize. He was so sad that I didn't. Okay, so I friended him. We're friends now, and I hope that your life is just a little bit brighter because you can watch my downfall of a human existence publicly now on a platform like Facebook. So DJ Pocket, welcome to the goddamn fire pit.
Well, it gets darker before dawn, they say. So 6 months, look, 6 months is nothing. You are gonna.
That's true. 6 months is nothing.
It really isn't.
Right. It's been 24 hours and it feels like it's been 6 months, but I do understand the concept that you're saying to me. But yeah, it's true. 6 months is nothing, and I'll look back on this and be like, man, thank God that I had a mom who's going to give me a room. Thank God I had the support that I had when I had it. Thank God I put this money away when I could. Like, it'll be a good thing. Right now it sucks balls. But like my friend Miles told me, he was like, you know what? If it wasn't a bad situation, you wouldn't be motivated to fucking leave it. And it's like, that's true too. Like if she lived in this big ass house and I had my own wing, then you know what? It would be kind of cushy and I wouldn't walk out. But now that I'm living in a glorified closet, it's like, you know what? Get your shit together, bitch, and get out and stand on your own 2 feet. So that's what I'm doing.
Sometimes we all have to get out of the closet is the lesson.
Well, some of us teeter on that door frame for, their entire life.
Yeah.
I refuse to choose inside or outside that closet. I love the door frame.
The door frame is all yours.
Are we picking up the metaphor that I'm laying down? Is that what we're all doing?
I'm
Okay,
just seeing a t-shirt with you in a door frame, and it's like, I'm not in or out. I'm in the door frame.
All right. I'm going to go. I love you.
I love you too. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Peers and queers, if you want to help contribute to Chelsea's house fund so she can do a show in her backyard, hit her up on the Venmo, follow her on Instagram, buy a cake from her because her cakes are amazing, and I mean that in all of the ways. Okay, cool. With that, I'm going to pick up my phone because I'm still Chromebookless, and somebody just sent me a message to follow them for their DJ career on SoundCloud. What is happening that somebody's doing that right now? He says, I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm sorry, I can't follow your SoundCloud DJ career at the moment because it's time to interview my oldest friend in stand-up comedy. She's amazing. She is hilarious. You can catch her when the world is right. You can catch her at festivals and traveling all over the state of California and the larger part of the country. You can follow her on social media at her handle that's going to be right below her name. And let's find out where we can find her and what she's been up to. Peers and queers, give it up for one of my oldest friends, Sydney Stigerts.
Heyo.
Hey.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
Hot. How are you in paradise?
Same.
Where you are?
Yeah. I promise I won't roast you as much as fucking Chelsea did.
Oh, well, I mean, good luck because she's been doing it for 19 weeks. So just like a spit, I just get turned over and over.
She's just never ending. Yeah, she's great. She's wonderful, especially her titties.
I aspire for those titties. Sid, what have you been up to during the pandemic?
Let's see. During the pandemic, in the beginning, I turned 24 and did a lot of drinking, then a lot of self-loathing, and and then I decided to impulse buy a short bus. And so I've been converting a short bus, and I've been traveling in it, and I'm in San Diego right now.
Okay, so San Diego is like the best place in the world. So congratulations on making it there, and happy birthday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Everyone that's had to have a COVID birthday, I feel like, I don't know, they should get a party at the end.
You know, it actually wasn't too terrible. I made my dad play beer pong with me because, like Chelsea, I live with my parents. I'm just kidding, Chelsea. You're doing great, sweetie. You're doing so good. Instead of buying a house, I just bought a short bus. So
I'm close to living with my parents, but I don't know. So tell me about the short bus. What's it like to be an owner of a short bus?
It's a little weird, honestly. She's a big bitch. She is a lot to drive. The 8-hour drive to San Diego ended up being like an 11-hour drive, and she had technical difficulties. And so she's cost me quite a bit of money at this point, but she's worth it. She's my bussy, and I very much enjoy my bussy.
Your bussy. I have a problem apparently because you said 8-hour drive to San Diego, and I thought that was with the short bus because I'm like 6 hours, maybe 6:15.
It's like 7.5. I usually pull through 7 in like my normal car, but in the bus, because I'm traveling with my dog too, it's like almost 10 hours.
What's the bus's name?
Her name is Benji. She's androgynous. At first, I named her Charisse because she was giving me older woman vibes, and I liked it, kind of like Chelsea. But then Benji's only like a year older than me, and Charisse wasn't sticking too well, so now she's Benji.
Maybe Charisse can stay as a middle name.
Yeah, sometimes when we get in fights, I still call her Charisse because, like, fuck that bitch sometimes. You know what I mean?
Or, like, Charisse could be Benji's drag name.
That, too. She'd be a cute drag queen.
Get some of those eyelashes for the headlights. Let's see. So, you said you impulse Benji.
Yeah.
What actually goes into like deciding like, okay, because you're the second friend I have that bought a short bus recently. So what actually?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't ask her. What goes into like, okay, I'm committing. I'm gonna buy this vehicle to live in.
Well, so for the past 2 years, I've been looking into doing like some type of mobile van life type thing because I'm broke and live with my parents, and so I needed to get out. And so I was looking more like at Sprinter vans because I also want to convert it into a mobile barber shop. but all the vans I was looking at for like even just like 10 grand, it was like a super small van and I couldn't even stand up in it.
Oh.
So randomly I just like went on Facebook Marketplace and looked up buses, and I found like 3 different short buses in the Sacramento area. And so once I found it is when I impulse bought it. And then from there, I've just kind of had to figure it out since. There's actually like a huge school bus community on the internet to do like renovations and that type of stuff.
Yeah, and like bus mods.
Yeah, there's a lot.
One of my Facebook memories actually just popped up. It was a full-size bus with a VW bus like welded on top in the middle.
Yeah.
And it was like, so that was like their perch, and I was like, I remember seeing that. So
That's so cool.
What's your favorite? First of all, what's your favorite website, just in case anyone else is watching and they want to get into short bus living?
I think just like the most basic one with like a lot of questions and forums on there is like schooly.net or something. Because when I get back from San Diego, I'm gonna build a rooftop deck on the top, and so there's like different websites that can help out with that as well.
And that's SCHOLLIE.
KOOLIE.
Oh, okay. Schoolie with a K.
Yeah.
And then what's your favorite mod that you've done so far?
So one thing that I've learned about van life is that if someone also isn't doing van life, you shouldn't tell them how you go to the bathroom in your van, because they might think you're a crazy person.
That was my next question.
Yeah. So initially it was a bucket. It was a Home Depot bucket, but I invested in a portable toilet, and that has probably been the best thing at the current moment.
I mean, when you think about it, all toilets are really...
Chelsea's look of disappointment.
Well, all toilets
beautiful.
are really buckets, right?
Right.
So, I mean, is there really a difference? But now you have a portable toilet. Does it have like a
The
seat?
difference is that instead of waking up next to like a girl, I wake up next to a bucket filled with my shit.
Well, you can dump it out.
Yeah. That's a whole nother process, though.
That is. I mean, dumping a girl, dumping a bucket of shit. Which is easier, Sydney?
They're pretty much the same, to be honest with you.
Okay. So you said you wanted to get a bus to cut hair in because you're a barber.
Yes.
But you also travel to do comedy.
Correct.
So where... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it was kind of like, because I've traveled with Chelsea a lot before too. And, you know, I thought that it would be super cool, like going during the day and stuff. Like if you're doing like a weekend show, like set up somewhere during the day. Oh God, Chelsea wants to talk about Wairika, and I don't know if I'm ready for that yet.
Oh, we've already talked about Wairika on the show. That was, we were going there.
You already talked about Wairika?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, well now we have to talk about it from my standpoint and how I'm going to turn it into a business opportunity, like Chelsea was talking about.
Well, so I was gonna ask if any new comics or new barbers, I guess, are watching the show, and they're like, where do I need to be in my career? Because like you wouldn't want to be like doing open mic comedy for 6 months and then buy a bus.
Yeah.
So like, where should you be?
So let's see. The first time I ever did stand up, I was 19, and then I didn't really start pursuing it until I was about 20. And so now I'm at the point where like I am lucky enough to have like headliners like Chelsea, Ellis Rodriguez, like other people who want me as their feature act. So once you get to that point where it's like you have a solid 25 to 30 minutes and can travel around, after that it's like, okay, now I can use this to my advantage, and I can also use it as another side business to have even more money.
Yeah. No, okay, so then maybe feature level is where people should aspire before they... Okay, cool. Because I'm thinking about like a show with you and Chelsea or you and Ellis, and I'm like, oh, I could host that if you guys want to host.
Yeah, also I'm trying to work on right now doing like a pop-up show out of it.
Neat. And
Yeah.
if you had a rooftop deck, would you be on the deck to do your show?
I mean, if we wanted, but like I'd be scared Chelsea would fall off of it.
Oh, that's
But we could do it.
That's just part of the show. If she falls off, she'll just keep going.
She would get tipped very nicely, I think, if she fell off.
Oh,
She'd just probably bounce off her titties and then be fine.
Airbags. They're there for a reason.
Basically, yes.
So where do you wash your clothes? Not the same bucket.
Well, so I am very deep in the gay community, and so I have a lot of friends in major cities. So currently in San Diego, I'm spending a lot of time with my friends down here. I haven't done laundry yet, but they have a laundry room if I need it. Or you just don't wear underwear, I guess.
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to, or you can just have a lot of pairs and eventually
floats your boat.
Get to it. Yeah. Do you have a sink in your schoolie?
Yeah, so it's a hand pump sink. So there's a 5-gallon bucket under the sink, and it's just like a hand pump one. It's not like a running faucet, but I mainly use that to like wash dishes and stuff because it's not purified water.
You could wash your hands though.
Yes, that too.
But like not brush your teeth.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
It depends on how risky you want to get with it, I guess.
Oh. So I mean, sometimes it's fun to be risky. So
you're right.
You've been before COVID hit, you were doing a lot of comedy festivals. Right?
Yes, in January I did the Queer Comedy Festival in Vegas, and then in September I was supposed to do Big Pine with Chelsea in Arizona.
Yeah, we had Ty Rivera on a couple weeks ago, and we talked about the Laughed Out Festival.
R.I.P. Big Pine.
Me
and Chelsea were even gonna get matching tattoos for it.
Look, I knew like 6 people going to Big Pine. I was like, I'm just gonna come down and watch.
Yeah.
So we'll see if it happens still. And that's where is Big Pine?
It's in Flagstaff, Arizona.
When you submit for a comedy festival, what makes for a good video submission tape?
Oh gosh. See, there's like, don't ask me and Chelsea, because like we just do what other people tell us to do. So I've heard like, it needs to like, you need to have like a solid 5 minutes, at least 5. Like a lot of people will just watch the first 5, but if you submit like at least 7 or 10, like that's fine. They'll just usually watch the first 5. It needs to be like, obviously your best jokes all like super good and everything super polished, and like obviously in front of a good crowd. And you want to like have a rapid fire where there's a lot of laughs going, not a lot of break time, because in 5 minutes you need to pump out as many jokes as you can. Also, like, just get to it really quick. Like, just start it with your name on and like your Instagram labels on the bottom or whatever, I guess. Like, don't have like some weird intro screen open up. Like, just get right to it so they can watch.
So like no stories, like
you can do
jokes.
Stories, but you just have to have like a punch like every at least like 7 to 10 seconds, I would say.
7 to 10 seconds.
Well, I don't know. It varies, but it's like you want to have like a constant flow of laughter. Like that's the hard part about stories is like sometimes it's better for longer sets, not like a 5-minute intro thing.
Right.
And you want to make it look like at least somewhat professional, right? Not just like off an iPhone or whatever. Like you need to have good lighting and good audio and all that type of stuff.
Oh, for sure. A lot of people up here use Nick Larson for that.
Right.
So I'm actually interested in this question myself because I have to film one, and I was supposed to film one in April, and then this all happened, and I was going to go to Chelsea's room in Benicia, and now they still want a submission video, and it's like, well, there's an open mic in the park, but no, you know, it's not like the same as being.
Getting the tape, I would say you should try to just do like a guest spot at a venue, because like if you do like a guest spot at a venue, like on like a weeknight or whatever, like at Laughs Unlimited, where it's already like you got the host, feature, and headliner. If you ask a guest get a guest spot, they'll usually give you a 5-minute set like after the host, so they're already kind of warmed up, right? You don't want to do it at an open mic. You want it like at a good show with like other good comedians where there's going to be a good turnout.
Where they're already warmed up from the good host.
Right. Or even Punchline on the Punchline like showcases on Wednesday nights or whatever. If you do like a guest spot, usually people are pretty cool about it. So.
Oh, I wouldn't know what that's like. So when you go to a festival, what makes a good festival? Because you've been to, how many have you been to now?
I've only been to a couple. I did San Diego Comedy Festival back in 2018. I did some little one. I've been to a couple in Sacramento, like little ones. I did the queer comedy one in January. That was it. So
what, in your experience so far, what makes a good festival? Like, what are you looking for as a comic?
So I really enjoyed the Queer Comedy Festival one, and I was really excited for Big Pine because it was like kind of the same producers and everything. But like besides just having good shows, I think festivals, like it's really important at that time. Like networking is very essential in comedy festivals. Like that's like kind of like the main purpose of them is get to know bookers from other clubs and everything to kind of do more business side of this stuff and everything, right? So I know Big Pine like has panels where you can get information from bookers and like all that kind of stuff, what they're looking for. So it's like a lot of information, and it's nice just like it's not only about the shows you do, it's about learning all these other things. And like the best part is bonding with like other comics. Like back in San Diego is when me and Ellis became friends. So
okay, I really should look into festivals. So Flagstaff, San Diego, and Vegas are 3 very different cities. How much does the city that the festival is in matter to you as the comic?
San Diego was cool because it was like the first time I really got to spend a lot of time down there. The turnout wasn't as good as the one in Vegas. But I think that's just Vegas in general. Like I was on a show in the festival in Vegas where the show started at like fucking 12:30. So it's like people are always just like in that area. People are always ready for that like kind of environment, I guess. So the Vegas one was really cool.
I mean, I'll go ahead and say that's probably some credit is due to Ty and Jocelyn Sharp for making sure people are there too.
Yeah.
Okay. So different perks and to different places. There's probably not much else to do in Flagstaff when there's a comedy festival, and there's a lot of things to do in Vegas.
Yeah, it seemed like a cute little town. I don't know. Me and Chelsea are usually pretty good at getting into some wild shit, even if it's in the middle of fucking nowhere. So
we've talked about it.
You know, Chelsea's very talented at throwing up in bushes. I don't know if she.
No, she didn't mention.
Oh, she didn't
part.
Share that?
No.
Oh, interesting.
So she mentioned that you guys did a show up in Wairika, and then she got like a little like mole man. I can't remember that story. A little like mole man sort of guy was hollering at her, and then you guys went back to the hotel without anybody. But then she woke up and there was a mole man next to her, and you also had your own little honey with you in the room. Am I remembering that right?
Yeah, there was a lot that led up to that exact moment, to be honest with you. I don't remember that guy's name. What happened was me and Chelsea show up to this bar in Wairika. Very homophobic, very racist place, right? So automatically me and Chelsea are like, well, fuck, we're gonna die here. And we do the show. We end up doing super fucking good in the show. Then we go to a bar, and Chelsea does her normal fucking thing where she's like, oh, it's like their karaoke going on. Like, I had no idea. Like, I don't even sing, like, at all. And then she sings, and she sounds like fucking Shakira and Beyonce had a baby together. And it's amazing, right? And so while she's doing that thing, I'm chatting up basically the entire bar because I'm drinking whiskey and doing a lot of cocaine.
Oh.
And so I ended up talking to like 10 different women at the bar, and I ended up turning the bar almost completely gay. And I meet these 3 girls. Chelsea's got this weird dude on her hip who was just an interesting man altogether. I meet these 3 girls, and I'm talking to one of them, and I'm like, okay, this girl's down to fuck. And I thought the other girl was too. They're like, hey, where's your hotel? Like, insinuating a threesome. And then the girl that I was initially pursuing was like, yeah, I think Sarah has a crush on me. And I was like, oh, who's Sarah? She's like, oh, my cousin. And so I was like, oh, perfect. This is the town we're in. Meanwhile, Chelsea is doing laps around the outside of the bar, throwing up in each bush that she is passing.
Claiming her territory.
She's very talented.
Yeah.
She like had that much where she could just do each bush, and I heavily respect it. While she's doing that, me and the girl and like 2 guys decide to walk across the street to our lovely hotel, Motel 6. Chelsea is laying in the bed with this dude, and I'm in the bathroom with this girl and dude, and we're all out of our fucking minds till 4 a.m. And we decide, you know what, Sydney, you know what would be a good idea if you gave us a haircut right now. And this dude went inside his car, pulled out a pair of clippers, and I cut his hair while I was extremely intoxicated. After that, I had my first chuckle fucker, and I basically couldn't even see her vagina because her bush was the size of the Amazon forest. And that's when I started offering services called the Pussy Fade. And if you have a bush and you would like it tamed, hit me up. It's the Pussy Fade. After that, Chelsea wakes up in the morning, I wake up, and you know when the drunk goggles come off and you realize you made a terrible mistake? That's what happened. Me and Chelsea end up going to a different city the next night for another show.
At
and
a golf
the girl
course,
I
right?
slept, yes, the golf course.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl that I had slept with and her other crazy friends followed us to the next town to watch the show. In the middle of my show, this woman has a breakdown, crying, saying, oh my God, she's gonna leave me. She doesn't love me. She wanted me to stay and raise her child with her in Wairika and thought that we were in love. And me and Chelsea dipped out of there really fucking quick and then decided Chelsea should get some instead of me.
That sounds like an episode of a reality television show.
Yeah, that's how exactly it was, and that's when I decided that one chuckle fucker is enough for a lifetime.
Probably, yeah. I've never had the privilege or opposite of privilege, but I'm gonna heed your lesson there.
I think the best part is that when we were driving up to Wairika, is I was telling Chelsea, yeah, like I've never slept with someone after the show, and she's like, you're about to become a real road comic, bitch. And it fucking happened.
I would love to do a show in a bar in Wairika, but I don't know about getting a family up there. So I'm gonna stay away from that.
Yeah.
So
it's risky.
You have really grown up in stand-up comedy. I mean, you said you started when you were 19 and you just turned 24.
I did, yes.
And I know me, like a lot of my life started in my early 30s. Like, what's it like to grow up in stand-up comedy?
It's a really cool experience. I think it's cool being like usually the youngest comic at most of the shows you go to. I think a lot of people underestimate you just because you haven't experienced as much life as them. But I think it's been really cool, and I think it's made me grow up a lot being in that type of industry and everything. it's led to some toxic moments in my life, but I would say that it's been one of the best experiences of my life growing up doing stand-up.
Right on. Do you ever wish that you had, I'm going to say no based on what you just said, but do you ever wish you had started stand-up later?
Later? No, I wish I would have done it earlier.
Really? Like how early?
Yeah. Maybe like a year. I think that's too much to ask, though. I think one of the main things that I didn't realize that happened when I first started comedy was such a huge way of accepting myself and my sexuality. And so I don't think at 18 I would have been ready for that. But I think it would have been cool, but it just didn't happen.
So then you're not in the door frame with Chelsea. You're just all the way out of the closet.
No, because I'm not a pussy ass bitch, and I accept.
Those are
I
fighting
accept
words.
myself, and I am so unconditionally myself. I'm just kidding. That's just directed at Chelsea.
Yeah. I was going to say to my audience, everyone finds a different place to go, and she found her place.
It's only Chelsea. It's only Chelsea because I recently found out the first night we met at a comedy show, she thought we were going to fuck. And so I just think it's funny that she still hasn't fucked a woman since we've been friends. But it's fine. Oh, I don't know that? Oh, she's telling me that I don't know that. That's fine.
There's a
I just
whole
thought
other,
it would have been me, Chelsea. It's fine.
There's a whole other show going on in the green room. So I don't know if you know this, but the audience can only see you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So
Hi.
unfortunately, Chelsea is unable to communicate her feelings to the audience right now.
Okay, Chelsea is giving me dirty and sexual looks throughout this entire thing.
Okay. So, speaking of dirty looks, your mom is a huge character in your stand-up.
Yes.
How did that? Did you talk about it before you Did you write a joke and say like, "Hey, mom, I'm gonna tell a joke. You're gonna be part of it," or did you tell it and then like ask for forgiveness later?
Let's see. So, when I first did a show when I was 19. I did a class at the Comedy Spot where it was like we worked on 2-minute segments like each week, and then at the end we had like a full 6 minutes ready to go. And so I think I kind of was like jokingly telling her like, oh yeah, like I have so much material to write about you, but I don't think they actually realized that I was gonna roast my family, especially my mom, until the actual show. And that's the thing about me with stand-up is I won't say a lot of things off stage, but on stage I'll say whatever the fuck I want and not really ask for forgiveness until after.
Okay. So now she's good with it. Does she enjoy those jokes the most?
She does. She has brought like many of her coworkers out to my show and everything, and they love it. But yeah, so it's been pretty good. So.
Is that a conversation, like if you were gonna actually date somebody long term, not just a chuckle fucker that you meet at a show, but if you were gonna date somebody like exclusively, would you talk about that? Would you be like, hey, look, you're probably gonna become part of my set?
Honestly, I think that's hard by itself. I haven't had a good time maintaining a relationship while being a comedian, which is why I've been single for 2 years. Mm-hmm. The last relationship I had, she didn't even like me telling jokes about my ex-girlfriend or anything like that. So it's like a weird fine line, I guess, in a relationship. As Ella says, if it's funny, I should get away with it. I'm not going to be a dick about it. Like, I'm not going to, like, be an actual dick to you, but I'm, like, I might make fun of you, but it's out of love, you know?
I don't know what I would do if I couldn't make jokes about my ex. Like, my whole, not just my set, my life. Like, I'd have no life.
Right. Yeah. She was a dog.
So is that like a deal breaker? Like if you were going to date somebody and you wanted to date them and they wanted to date you and they were like, okay, but you can't tell jokes about me. Would you be like,
oh yeah, no, I would not. Anything that conflicts with my comedy career, I will not date anyone. No one should have a say about my career at all. So.
Okay, so if you're going to date Sydney Stigerts, then you have to be willing to be part of the set, and maybe get a pussy fade.
There you go.
So you told us what it's like to travel with Chelsea, and then you've also traveled with Ellis. What's it like to be a road comic? Is it more fun to do it with your friends? Any advice for anyone watching that wants to get on the road?
Definitely traveling with friends is the best thing in the world. I was lucky enough to be picked up at a younger age by these veteran comedians who I kind of bonded with. And so I guess just really putting in the time and like going to open mic, showing you're dedicated, and like one of these vets will pick you up and take a chance on you, I guess. I was lucky they did for me, but I would definitely say traveling with someone that you're cool with will definitely lead to the best experience.
Okay. Does style matter at all? Like, do you find that like your style of comedy needs to mesh with the people that you're kind of on the road with?
Definitely. I think me and Chelsea work very well together. We both do like a lot of crowd work, her more so than I do. So it's not like I'm completely stepping on her toes, but like we talk about different things in our crowd work, right? But we work very well together. We're both strong female comedians who don't give a fuck about what we say. And me and Ellis are just fucking dumb bros too at the same time. So each person I go on the road with, like we mesh very well together on and off stage.
That's cool. That probably makes it a lot more fun because you're only on stage for, 10, 20 minutes.
Right.
There's
Plus
a lot more time
like
off stage.
You want to compliment each other, I guess. Like I don't know, working with someone who is just like a very bland comedian, like I don't know, it would just kind of be an interesting show, I guess. I think that's the fun thing about mine and Chelsea's show is that it's very like a high energy, very fun type of show where we just go in on people.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Can people find, like when the world goes back to normal, can people find your shows on your Instagram?
Yes, they should be able to. I post pretty often on there. I do have a website, but it's kind of shitty right now. Plus, like all my shows got canceled for the rest of the year. But on my Instagram and Twitter is where I post most of my stuff.
Are you doing anything in the virtual space for comedy right now?
No, I'm not. So I'm not really doing anything comedy-wise right now. It's like been kind of nice to take a break. I've been focusing on the bus and like focusing on my mental health in this time. So that's been kind of nice to just like take a step back from comedy, I guess. I do miss it, but I'm working a lot more with NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. So I've been working with them a lot in this time right now.
Very cool. So if people want to find information on that, they can go, is nami.org, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, we actually, Apple Adams came on the show, and we talked a lot about mental health and depression.
I love that bitch. Yeah.
So, yeah, no, she's great. So
yeah.
That's definitely, I feel like we've talked in every episode, we've kind of talked about things that you and I have talked about. But yeah, so NAMI, people should check that out, and they can find you at your website when it's right. And I don't think there's any shame with not doing anything right now as a comedian. We've been doing this show for 4 months, and we've had people not want to do stuff and people want to do stuff. Get your schoolie right and be ready to roll. No pun intended.
Right.
When things go back to normal.
In order to be the best comedian I can be, I need to be my best way in all other fields. So. For
sure. That's everything I had to ask except for rapid fire. Do you have anything else that you wanted to talk about?
No, I think I'm in an apartment full of girls right now. I don't know if it can be heard, but.
Okay, well, we'll do rapid fire, and we'll let you go.
Sounds good.
All right, cool. This is rapid fire questions with Sydney Stigerts. Sydney,
okay.
What is your favorite thing about the existence of brunch?
Alcohol.
What? Who is your favorite LGBTQ activist?
Oh, like a famous person?
Any way you want to answer is fine.
Honestly, I don't know a lot.
It can be non-famous.
You?
Oh, wow. Okay, I'll take that. I wouldn't identify as an activist, but thank you. What is your favorite item on the gay agenda?
On the gay agenda?
Uh-huh.
The gay agenda. What's the gay agenda?
Oh, well, it's a joke because there is no gay agenda, but people like to say there's a gay
Perfect.
agenda.
What's my favorite item? Turning straight girls.
Which do you think COVID-19 pandemic has affected more, the straight dating scene or the gay dating scene?
Definitely homos for sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we thrive at the Merc and Badlands, and so we're dying on the inside right now.
Well, you know, Badlands, when you come back to Sacramento, Badlands just opened up an outdoor patio.
I did hear about that. I'm looking forward to that.
And we're doing Makeup and Mimosas Drag Brunch there starting August 30th. Yeah, every Sunday. So try to fix the dating scene a little bit that way. What is your favorite position to imagine straight people having sex in?
Ew. I've heard of a thing called reverse cowgirl, and like I don't know how I feel about that, but every movie where there's a straight couple doing missionary makes me very uncomfortable.
Okay, so people should do more reverse cowgirl. If you were performing tonight, what would your walk-up song be?
What would my walk-up song be? Wet ass pussy, bitch. Let's go.
What is your favorite regular recurring show to perform in?
Favorite regular recurring show. Oh, I love the 1 Degree of Separation show.
Tell me about that in, like, I don't know, 5 sentences so the audience can hear.
The 1 Degree of Separation show is a funny look on suicide and depression. It's 4 comedians, and we come out and do a set, just a normal comedy set, and then we all sit up on the stage on a panel and we talk openly about our depression and our mental illness, but in a funny, lighthearted way. And it's probably one of the most rewarding comedy shows that I've been part of, and actually kind of the funniest. So.
And it destigmatizes mental illness and talking about suicide, which is great.
Yes.
What is your favorite venue to regularly perform in?
Ooh, venue. I love Cobb's.
Oh.
I love Cobb's a lot. And Laughs Unlimited.
So that's Cobb's in San Francisco and Laughs Unlimited.
Yeah.
In Old Sac, which is open right
San
now.
Jose Improv too.
Oh, I
has to be
been
one of my
there.
all-time favorites.
I need to go there.
Amazing.
What is the funniest thing an audience member has ever said to you after a show?
I used to be homophobic, but you're pretty funny.
Okay. That's a good one. I hope we get a clip of that because people on Twitch can clip like things, and that's a special one.
Yeah, that was probably the best thing ever said to me.
Who's your favorite comic?
Right now, Taylor Tomlinson.
Oh, she's amazing.
And I'm like kind of envious because we're around the same age. So.
What is your favorite sex position for yourself?
My favorite sex position? Any girl sitting on my face will settle fine with me.
You should get that on a t-shirt, some merch. Do you cook or bake?
I cook. I cook a lot of vegan food.
Really? How long have you been vegan?
I've been at least vegetarian for 2.5 years. Veganism, I've gone in and out of probably a lot in that, but ever since like I've been living in the bus, so about a month now, I've been full vegan again.
We had vegan drag queen, international famous vegan drag queen, Honey LeBronx on the show last week. So
ooh,
yeah, she's all about that vegan goodness.
It's great.
Let's see. If we are we're like after a show, we're at a bar, someone's buying us shots. What are they buying us?
What?
We're at a bar after a show, and someone wants to buy us shots. What are they buying?
we're taking some shots of whiskey, baby, or Hennessy if I want to be a confident, cocky bitch that night.
Be a confident, cocky bitch. Always go with top shelf stuff. If
Then
someone,
Hennessy, baby.
yeah. If someone's buying us drinks, what are we drinking?
We're either going just like a classic beer, or we're going a 7 and 7.
Oh, that's a wide. I'm in on that. That's good.
Yeah.
Toilet. Okay, this one's important. Toilet paper, over or under?
Oh, honestly, I don't have an opinion.
What?
I know I live in a bus where I do not have a toilet paper holder, so it just sits there.
Okay, you're the second person ever in 19 shows to say they don't have an opinion. I don't understand that.
I know. It's a controversial statement.
It really, like, you could even say the wrong one, which is under, and I would be...
I think, I was going to say, I think probably over,
Yeah.
but, like, it doesn't grind my gears. What grinds my gears is when it's the single thing of toilet paper, and when I wipe, I accidentally finger my butthole.
Oh,
That's
single
what
ply.
I don't like.
Yeah, no, at least double ply, if not the quilted, please, with the toilet paper for
Exactly.
Sydney and me and everybody. Who is your favorite drag queen?
My favorite drag queen. Bitch. First of all, I do love you, but like Apple Adams and Mercury Rising are some of the first bitches I saw, and so I love them.
Oh no, they're both amazing. So that's
Yes.
I'll be third all day for them. Let's see. Do you think I'm pretty?
Baby, I would 10 out of 10 smash.
Oh, good. That's my next question. Would you date me?
Okay, smashing and dating are two different things. I would smash, but I would hit it and quit it. You
Okay.
feel me?
I do. I'm more
Okay.
of a smash and leaver type of girl.
Perfect.
Okay, last question.
Okay.
When this is all over, like the COVID and the pandemic and the lockdowns and the quarantine, what are you most excited to do?
Get back on stage, man. Get back to having a normal routine in life. I really can't wait.
Right on. That's all I got. I can't wait to see you in person again, and do
Yes.
some shows together. Thanks for coming
Please.
on.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, and have fun in the apartment full of girls.
Oh, I will.
All right. Love you, Sydney. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Peers and Queers, that was Sydney Stigerts. You can find her on her handles that we just had under her picture. And when all this goes back to normal, make sure you catch her, whether she's alone in the show or if she's with Chelsea or if she's with me or if she's with Ellis Rodriguez, who's been on the show. It'll be a good time, and you'll be really glad that you did. And with that, I think we have enough time to go with our Will We Cut and Will We Not? David Shapiro, actor, comic, producer, whatever he's doing right now. Always taking new jobs. David, are you there?
Hey, Suzette.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, how are you?
Oh, I'm okay. You're good?
Oh, I'm okay.
Yeah? You had a birthday?
Yes. Well, you're right. I just had a birthday. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. 37. I don't know if I like 37. It's definitely older than 36.
Yeah.
But I did get to watch my White Sox beat the Cubs on my birthday. That was fun because sports are back. Yeah, I don't have anything this week to say.
So why'd you come on the show?
Well, I just thought maybe I'd come on and say hi and great show.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay, cool. All right, well then I'll see you next week.
See you
All right,
next
bye.
week. Bye. Okay. Clearly supporting the United States Postal Service. That was David Shapiro, who mailed in his segment this week and didn't really do any work for the show. Thanks, David, for not doing any work for the show that I expect you to do. Okay. But on that note, support the United States Postal Service. Things are rough right now. Go buy a book of forever stamps for like $11. They're forever stamps. They'll be great now or in 10 years. It doesn't matter how much you paid for them. They last, like the name says, forever. So get some forever stamps, please, and support the United States Postal Service, because right now they're in a bad relationship with Louis DeJoy, and we should help them out. On that note, we're going to do next week's show at 5:03. Yeah, we're going to try 5:03, up 2 hours early. So if you want to tune in 2 hours early, if you catch us on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook in the review, it will just be there 2 hours earlier. Thank you so much to Sydney Stigerts, Mean Dave, Clifton Ellison, and Chelsea Bearce, and, of course, Jesse and Stab. And, by the way, congratulations to Jesse Jones of Stab Comedy Theater for being a local hero in the SNR Local Heroes during the pandemic. We'll see you next week at 5:03. It wasn't announced. You didn't know that. Disregard, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, disregard what you just heard.
The city's your playground. I watch you take a bite. At 5 a.m. roaming the streets, drunk all night. You think you're hot shit, and ooh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, yeah. Stumbling, but yeah, you're still looking hella fun. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll make you mine. Hot mess, and I'm falling for you. And I'm like, hot damn, let me make you my boo. 'Cause you can shake it, shake it, shake it. Yeah, you know what to do. You're a hot mess, I'm loving it, hell yes. You're a hot mess, and I'm falling for you. And I'm like, hot damn, let me make you my boo. 'Cause you can shake it, shake it, shake it. Yeah, you know what to do. You're a hot mess, I'm loving it, hell yes. I'm having trouble trying to sleep. I'm counting sheep but running out. As time ticks by, and still I try. No rest for crosstops in my mind. On my own, here we go. My eyes feel like they're gonna bleed. Dried up and bulging out my skull. My mouth is dry, my face is numb. Messed up and spun out in my room. On my own, here we go.